Today, we're going to talk about one of the most powerful journeys anyone can take, the journey of rebuilding yourself. And look, this is so much more than just making a few changes. It's about a total transformation, rediscovering who you are and building a life that actually feels like it's yours. Have you ever just felt stuck? Kind of like you're on the wrong path and you're not sure how you got there? Well, that little voice inside, that deep down feeling that something has to change, that's not a bad thing. In fact, that's usually the spark that gets the whole fire of incredible growth started. So, the big question is, how do you actually go from feeling totally lost to moving forward with real intention? Well, we've broken the process down into a super clear 5-stage journey. Think of it as your roadmap to get from where you are now to where you really want to be. Let's dive in. All right, here's our roadmap. We'll start with the spark, which is all about acknowledging that change is needed. Then we'll move to the blueprint, where you design your future. After that comes the work, making it happen. Then we'll cover the mindset and, finally, the environment.
Okay, so let's start with stage 1, the spark. This is that light bulb moment, that crucial turning point where you finally, honestly admit to yourself, okay, the way things are right now, this isn't it. This isn't what I want.
The main tool you're going to use here is self-reflection. And this isn't about beating yourself up or judging your past choices. Not at all. It's simply about getting honest with yourself, developing that self-awareness to really see the gap between your current reality and the future you're dreaming of. So, to get the ball rolling, you've got to ask yourself some pretty tough questions. Like, what are you actively avoiding dealing with? What patterns, good or bad, keep showing up in your life? How is your past still running the show today? And a huge one, are the people around you lifting you up or dragging you down? The answers you find here, they're the foundation for everything else. And I really want to stress this. Facing these hard truths isn't a sign of weakness. It is an act of pure courage. The second you decide to look inward and say, I want more for myself, that is the exact moment you start taking back the pen to write your own story. All right, once you've had that spark and you know a change is needed, it's time for stage 2, the blueprint. This is where we stop looking at the past and we start designing the future you actually want to live in.
Now, it's so important to get this. Your vision isn't just some fuzzy, daydreamy thing. No, it's a practical tool. It's the foundation you're going to build on. Think of it as your North Star, the compass that will guide every single decision you make from here on out.
So how do you actually create this vision? Well, first, you got to get quiet and think about what you truly want, not what you think you should want. Then write it all down. Be specific, be detailed, make it feel real. Make sure that vision lines up with your core values. That's what makes it stick. And finally, you break that big dream down into small, actionable steps. But hey, remember, a blueprint is just a guide. It's not a cage. Life throws curveballs, right? And as you grow and change, your vision might evolve too. And that's not a failure. That's actually a sign of strength and adaptability. Okay, so you've got the awareness, you've got the vision. Now comes stage 3. And honestly, this is the part that changes everything, the work. This is where you roll up your sleeves and turn that beautiful blueprint into a real, tangible thing through consistent action. The secret weapon here, it's consistency. Real, lasting change almost never comes from one giant, heroic leap. It comes from the small, sometimes boring things you do every single day. That steady effort is what builds unstoppable momentum. So how do you actually stay consistent when life gets in the way? First, break your goals down into ridiculously small steps so you don't get overwhelmed. Next, create daily routines that make progress almost automatic. It also really helps to find someone to hold you accountable. And finally, track your progress. Seriously, seeing how far you've come is one of the best motivators out there. And let's be real, you're going to have setbacks. They are going to happen. But you've got to reframe how you see them. A setback isn't a failure, it's feedback. It's a chance to learn what's not working and adjust. Every challenge you overcome just makes you more resilient for what's next. Which, actually, leads us perfectly into our 4th stage, the mindset. Because all the external work you do, it's only going to be as strong as the internal framework you build to support it. The absolute core of this stage is developing what's called a growth mindset. This is the fundamental belief that you aren't just a fixed thing. It's the idea that your skills, your intelligence, even your personality, they can all be developed with effort and dedication. Honestly, when you truly start to believe this, it is a total game changer. Here's what that looks like in real life. Someone with a fixed mindset sees a challenge and thinks, oh no, I might fail. It's a threat. But someone with a growth mindset sees that exact same challenge and thinks, okay, this is a chance to learn something new. It's an opportunity. It flips the entire script on how you approach difficulty. And that brings us to our fifth and final stage. And this one is so often overlooked, your environment. Because it doesn't matter how strong your mindset is, if your surroundings are constantly working against you, it's like trying to swim upstream. Think of your personal energy like a phone battery. On one side, you have all the things that drain it. Toxic people, that negative voice in your head, doom scrolling the news. Then, on the other side, you have the things that charge you up. Supportive friends, inspiring books or podcasts, and positive role models. The goal is simple. Spend more time plugged into the chargers, and you can actively build this positive environment. You can seek out mentors. You can consciously choose what media you consume. You can even just organize your desk or your room to feel less chaotic. It also includes the internal stuff, like practicing gratitude every day and really prioritizing your own emotional health. So as we start to wrap this up, the big thing to remember is that rebuilding yourself isn't a project with a deadline. It's a lifelong process. It's going to require a ton of patience when things feel slow, and even more self-compassion when you stumble. The goal is always progress, never perfection. Just know this, the future you want for yourself is absolutely possible. The strength you need to get there, it's already inside you. The only key is to trust the process and just keep taking that one next small step forward. So, we'll leave you with this question. Forget about the huge 5-year plan for just a second. What is one tiny, manageable step you can take today to start your own journey of rebuilding?